there's another way in.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 deleted things from Encanto we never got to see.
Because of all the people he would have wished to understand his words, it was me.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best scenes, characters, lyrics, and other elements that didn't make it into the final cut of Encanto. Which of these things do you think was wrongfully discarded? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Mirabel and Alma leave the Encanto.
I've never been able to come back here.
The town where the Madrigals reside is full of a beauty and vibrancy that always makes us envious. It's hard to imagine ever wanting to go anywhere else.
I can't go back.
I said the same thing when I left this place. Yet here I am.
However, production designer Ian Gooding revealed that at one point, they thought Mirabel and her abuela might venture beyond the mountains to Alma's former hometown. The trip would have opened up a vast new world, full of technology that their sleepy little town simply didn't possess. For instance, the Art of Encanto book features stunning illustrations of Colombia's iconic and colorful Chiva buses. The movie undoubtedly does a fantastic job of uncovering Casita's wonders. So we'd say exploring more of Colombia's exquisite scenery and culture wouldn't be amiss in a sequel. Number 9. Alma finds a poignant mural. After Casita crumbles, Mirabel runs away. But in a deleted segment exploring Alma's origins, she goes way farther than what we saw and heads to her grandma's city of origin.
Abuela sets out on her own, promising that when she returns and Julieta has healed, they will repair the family stronger than ever.
In this version, Julieta is seemingly severely injured too, which further amplifies the stakes. While looking for her granddaughter, Alma comes across a mural that reminds her of Pedro's sacrifice for their family. Much like Dos Oruguitas, it helps her connect and reconcile with Mirabel. The sketches alone tug at our heartstrings.
And now my mom is...
None of this is your fault. I chose to leave the city.
We're taken through a range of emotions, from loss and despair to light, hope, and love.
After I lost him, I was so afraid. I couldn't bear the thought of losing anyone else.
It's very impactful, so we can only imagine that it was cut because the creators thought we'd shed enough tears already.
You lost your home. Lost everything. You suffered so much, all alone. So it would never happen again.
Number 8. All of You was almost 7 minutes long.
Look at this home. We need a new foundation. It may seem hopeless, but we'll get by just fine.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's phenomenal songs underwent several changes before becoming the soundtrack we know and love. In a tweet, he shared some initial lyrics for Surface Pressure, which arguably revealed even more of Luisa's repressed emotions and psyche.
Diamonds and platinum, I find them, I flatten them, I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded, but under the surface, I feel berserk as a tightrope walker in a 3-ring circus.
Stephanie Beatriz also disclosed that a part of What Else Can I Do that she loved was cut. Additionally, we learned that before the Oscar-nominated Dos Oruguitas was written, Alma's backstory was going to be explored in the family Madrigal. But All of You underwent some of the most significant changes of all to fit the production's timeline. Miranda had originally expanded on the moment when the townspeople came to help.
Lay down your flow, lay down your flow, lay down the road, lay down the road. We have no gifts, but we are many, and we'll do anything for.
He had also included a longer reconciliation between Alma and her children, among other things.
Open your eyes. Abre los ojos.
Number 7. Casita's other designs.
Colombia is a country of regions, so at the end, the house represents the country.
According to associate production designer Lorelai Bove, The design for Casita was inspired by traditional Colombian architecture and biodiversity.
The house has a personality and is able to move tiles and move people. To me, that's magical realism, where the fantastical becomes the reality.
But the final look wasn't the only one they considered.
You look great.
Artist Scott Watanabe's drawing shows the home located on a mountaintop. His concept involved rooms moving around as additions were created for new magical occupants. Meanwhile, Ian Gooding said that although Casita was first envisioned with a more fantastical look, they decided that staying grounded in tradition worked better. And the architecture isn't the only thing that changed. There was also an idea where the home would respond to Alma like a mood ring.
Happy family, happy house. What does that mean? It means that the house feels the emotions of the family.
These are all fun ideas to be sure, but we love the casita just the way it is.
Hola, casita.
Number 6. Isabella's potato sidekicks. Isabella is the family's perfect flower conjuring princess.
Did someone say flowers?
Our angel.
Please don't clap.
But in the early stages of production, the creators had another spudtacular idea for her gift.
How far do these roots go down? I know are the blossoms you grow.
According to Scott Watanabe, Isabella was first envisioned as a more boho flower child, rather than a señorita perfecta. To match this energy, her gift would have involved animating little potato people. In these sketches, you can see them wearing traditional Colombian garments and tending to crops. Although this idea was abandoned pretty early on, we can't help but imagine how they'd fit into the story. Would each one have its own personality?
I just made something unexpected.
Watanabe said it was mostly, quote, just an excuse to draw a potato butt, and we're honestly not mad at it. Number 5. Mirabel and Antonio's Jungle Adventure. While we would have loved to explore all the rooms in more detail, this deleted scene takes us on an adventure through Antonio's animal-filled world.
It's bigger in the inside.
It depicts Mirabel finding another way into Bruno's room through a crack in her young cousin's.
You want to go where?
To get there, she must travel downriver accompanied by Antonio.
I need your help.
It's a cute moment that provides a closer look at the room's impressive features as well.
I think you have, like, the coolest room.
Can anyone else imagine this as a Disney World ride? We also love the added touch of the capybara watching on while Mirabel struggles. Interestingly, we also see Luisa trying to confide in her, leading into what we can only assume is some early version of surface pressure.
Eventually, I'm gonna sing you a song right here. Yeah, that's right.
Number 4. Many more generations.
This is our home, we've got every generation. So full of music, a rhythm of its own design. This is my family, a perfect constellation.
According to several sources, Encanto likely occurs in the early to mid-1900s. But back in its storyboarding days, there was a version where the story played out over a century. The film's cross-generational dynamics undoubtedly appealed to audiences. So it certainly would have been interesting to flesh this idea out further.
I can't just talk about myself. I'm only part of the amazing madrigals.
Who's on the amazing madrigal?
It could have shown us how each generation evolved amid conflicts and an ever-changing world.
Long ago, when my 3 babies had just been born, your abuelo Pedro and I were forced to flee our home.
And learning more about where the madrigals came from would have provided plenty of room to play with new characters.
I do think there's something really beautiful reminding us that we should connect to our elders, to the people that came before us, and also to the new generations that come behind.
It's a compelling angle, but we reckon that the multi-generational household led by Abuela Alma was the right way to go.
Whoa, let's be clear, Abuela runs this show. Whoa, she let us hear so many years ago.
Number 3. Isabella's alternative love interest. In Encanto, Isabella's expected to marry Mariano, a charming and suave suitor, but she doesn't really want to.
Nothing is messed up! You can still marry that big dumb honk!
I never wanted to marry him! I was doing it for the family!
And initially, someone else had her heart. He was a comically dorky misfit named Bubo Marquez. In other words, Mariano's complete antithesis. A deleted scene even shows Isabela sneak out of her room for a secret rendezvous with her beloved.
Bubo Marquez? Are you all right?
I am fine, mi amor.
Mi amor?
Mirabel thinks she's in danger and chases after her, only to uncover the truth.
Isabela? Isabela? Isabela!
It gives us an insight into Bubo's quirky personality and reveals Isa's true feelings in the process.
Bubo is the only person who has ever really seen me.
Yeah, I'm telling everyone.
We actually like how her happiness isn't tied to a love interest in the end.
How far can I rise through the roof to the skies? Let's go!
But we have to ask, what would this have meant for Mariano and Dolores?
Okay, I'll take it from here. Goodbye.
Number 2. Luisa's room.
But wait, if I could shake the crushing weight of expectations, would that free some room up for joy or relaxation?
Sadly, we never get to venture inside Luisa's room. But that doesn't mean that writers and designers didn't play around with various ideas for it. For example, Camille André's design was meant to evoke the Greek mythological story of Atlas, who carries the weight of the heavens on his shoulders. At least the cute puppy's a nice touch, but one of our favorite concepts involved a pretty standard-looking locale made of stone, with a covert door that only Luisa had knowledge of. Behind it was a theme park where she could let loose and enjoy herself without having to worry about moving churches or donkeys. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Mirabel's left behind to do chores with Agustin and Felix. The non-magical Madrigal men try to cheer Mirabel up while the others follow Alma's orders.
So we got this place for ourselves, you know? We can go anywhere. Dolores' room, Antonio's room, Abuela's room.
Not Abuela's room.
Not Abuela's room.
Antonio's gift was a little different. Initially, he would talk through his animals and compensate them with treats.
The rats told me everything. Don't eat those.
Isabela's edgy aesthetic. Her look could have been far more dramatic.
You're a bad influence.
Camilo's 7-foot frame in We Don't Talk About Bruno. Earlier animations show the teen towering over the others in a more literal visualization. The deleted post-credit scene. The creators decided that it might dampen the film's strong ending.
Everyone together! La familia Madrid!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Gift swaps and axed characters.
So many people!
How do you keep them all straight? Okay.
As you can imagine, a film about a gifted family presents endless opportunities. Indeed, even the characters who made the final cut didn't necessarily start out with the same gifts we saw.
Peppa originally was indestructible, but we found was that her power was too close to Luisa and people actually got them confused. And early on, Mirabel's mother was the one who controlled the weather. Eventually, the weather went to Peppa, which is great.
For instance, Dolores was the food healer, Julieta had the power to change the weather, and Peppa was an indestructible daredevil.
Looking great, mommy. Watch the rock.
You're well. Still alive.
As early artwork shows, there were also many other characters considered, but they didn't make the final Madrigal family tree. Among the most intriguing were twins Amelia and Sofia, who radiated opposing energies, and Zoe, who was in tune with machinery. Just imagine how out of breath Mirabel would have been if she had to sing about all of them in the opening number too. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.